Hello people, I am WyrdBean. Sit back and grab your thermos as we explore beyond the void in another weird lore. The game calls the void a dead zone.
Warning, entering ecological dead zone.
Which I now know not to be true. To understand what is beyond the void, we first need to know what it is. On the planet of 4546b, there are essentially three main zones that we know of. The crater, where the aurora crashed, Sector 0, where Below Zero takes place, and the endless black void that makes up the majority of the planet. Both the crater and Sector 0 are teeming with life, but staring into the void, only death is reflected back. In reality, Dead Zone is a misnomer because, as we see in both Subnautica and Below Zero, there does appear to be Ghost Leviathan and Void Chalicerate inhabiting these areas. Did you know that dead zones exist in our oceans here on Earth? In reality, a dead zone refers to an area that has suffered from eutrophication, meaning that so many things have died here due to excessive richness of nutrients that the water no longer contains enough oxygen to sustain life. But wait, if it can't sustain life, what are these guys doing out here? It would appear some life can be found in the void. Not to mention that dead zones are not permanent as long as the source causing the deoxygenation is removed. What kind of creatures could live in a large area with little food and poor oxygen? Well, it turns out that this is a similar environment to deep sea fish on our planet. These fish have several factors they must combat: food scarcity, low oxygen, cold temperatures. These conditions are all incredibly similar to a dead zone. So it would not only seem possible for creatures in Subnautica to live beyond the void, it would seem likely. Deep ocean environments can cause something known as deep sea gigantism, in which creatures become insanely large due to a lack of predators. This happens because of something known as Kleiber's law that says animals' metabolic rate scales to the 3/4 power of the animal's mass, essentially meaning the larger the animal, the more efficient it is able to operate. Take a look at this giant squid. These guys can reach up to 13 meters, or about 43 feet. Here are some examples of real-life creatures that experience this phenomenon: sea spiders, stingrays, jellyfish, crabs, sharks, oarfish. We now run into an issue of food. Likely these creatures would have fed on something similar to kelp, which would also require plankton, therefore also requiring algae to exist within the void. Now here's something weird I noticed that I've seen no lore video talk about before. Take a look at the skin of this void chalicerate. Notice all the damage? That is an eczema. Sperm whales are also known to return from the depths of the oceans covered in scars. This happens because they encounter large squids, as shown earlier. Is there something similar to giant squids in Subnautica that are attacking unsuspecting chalicerate that enter the void? Well, the scarring they have actually looks closer to burns. That might sound strange to you, but there are actually many different sea creatures capable of causing burns. To name a few, jellyfish, stingray, and eels, all of which are found within 4546b. But I don't believe that's what caused the burns. What leviathans could have caused this? Ghost, reaper, sea dragon, elongated muskellunge, gargantuan, vent garden. It's possible that there are leviathans believed to be extinct still living out in the void, that over 1,000 years have adapted to its new environment. The databank entry for the ancient leviathan skeleton reads: the oceans of the time would have been very different to support life forms of this size, with more open geography and many more individuals in the Leviathan range. I couldn't figure out what this meant until I found this. I've played hundreds of hours of Subnautica and never even noticed this. Sensitive viewers should stop the video now, as this is where it starts to get weird. I used a mod to reach the bottom of the ocean in my prawn suit that I could explore further, and after several hours, I actually found something. Here's a formation of 3 groups of gold mining veins. I didn't know what it was at first. I now realize the formation is possibly an inside joke among the developers, as they can be counted as 666, the number of the beast. Nothing happened until after I reloaded my save file though. I was then immediately greeted by the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in all my hours of playing. This is a vent garden that sounds like a Reaper Leviathan. Why did this happen? Then I remembered something. Well, do you remember the meat conveyor belt from the first Subnautica? The architects were masters of grafting together different creatures, such as the warpers they created. There is 2 pieces of lore that I've seen many people neglect. They read, "We have finally found the ideal creature. The elongated muskellunge Leviathan is capable of surviving extreme environments for long periods of time unharmed."
And
These samples of the elongated muskellunge Leviathan have shown some resilience to the Chara bacterium with low exposure. It seems likely that in distant recesses of the ocean, this creature was able to survive the bacterium. It also possessed shocking capabilities similar to an eel. Using its body as a Tesla coil, it is able to stun groups of smaller prey. Let me know in the comments why you think they decided not to implement this creature in Below Zero. Are these the Leviathans that have been attacking the Void Chelicerae? Now this might be speculation, but I think the architects made several different creatures. In fact, after 1,000 years, it's possible that every creature on 4546b has now been manipulated by the architects indirectly. In evolution, there is something known as gene flow, in which the genes of a population and a species are exchanged. This is how bacteria becomes resistant to medicine in hospitals, where one bacteria will spread its resistance to others. When the architects arrived on 4546b, how big of an impact did they have on the planet's life? Well, normally evolution would take about 1,000,000 years, not 1,000. But we've already learned from the warpers that have been created that this alien race is capable of speeding that process exponentially. If you swim out into the void and listen to the ambience, you can hear strange sounds of creatures that don't exist in the game. These are the sounds of the creatures that shouldn't exist. Creatures influenced by an advanced alien race. Like a wolf shooting sheep in a barrel, they eat and grow to their heart's content. Using all the knowledge I've gathered about deep-sea creatures that we've talked about in this video, I was able to create an image that might depict what a living, elongated muskellunge could have looked like. Is the void full of these creatures? In an interview with Elon, he briefly describes what it's like living on 4546b.
This region has so much water. Look around you.
I think all the evidence would support the strong possibility of Leviathans growing to gargantuan sizes in the void, as they have no one to compete with. So what is beyond the void of planet 4546b? Probably a bunch of dead fish, and giant leviathans drifting through the water, conserving energy, waiting for their next prey. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to let me know you want more. If I missed any important lore, make sure to let me know in the comments, and also let me know what lore video you would like to see next. Bye, guys.
This region has so much water. Look around you.